Hello, 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 and welcome back to Queens to Empower Queens. As you all know, I am your host, Sarah Williams, also the founder here at Queens to Empower Queens. I would like to say happy Thursday, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time zone you guys are tuning in with us here at Queens to Empower Queens. If you guys are watching us now, would you all please drop down in the chat, give us a hello. Hey, how you doing? How's your Thursday going? How's your week going so far? Would you all please share this video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also go ahead and tell other queens about Queens who Empower Queens. We appreciate you guys here. We appreciate you guys for joining and growing our community here. So as you all keep doing that, we're going to keep shining light on you guys. So again, thank you guys for tuning in with us here at Queens Who Empower Queens. So I hope you guys are ready for the exclusive interview that we have for you on today. Yes, on this beautiful Thursday. Would you all please give it up and welcome Tatanisha to the platform as she get ready to drop a special piece for you guys on the platform this evening. Welcome our girl Tatanisha to the platform.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hey, how you doing, Queen?
Great, great.
It
All
is a
right.
pleasure to have you on this platform today.
Yes, ma'am. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Oh well, I can't wait to see what you got for us on the platform today. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let you go ahead and take us away. And you guys that's watching us out there, please drop down in the chat, give Tatanisha a hey, hello, let her know that you all appreciate her here on this platform today, this evening, you guys. So Tatiana, go ahead and take us away.
All right. Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be where you are. I'll cross the hottest desert. I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my king. Lord, if I find favor, mm, mm, mm. find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be where you are. I'll cross the hottest desert. I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my king. For your glory, I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my king. I want to be where you are. I gotta be where you are. I want to be where you are. I gotta be where you are. I said I wanna be where you are. Dwelling in your presence. I gotta be where you are. I said love is who you are. And peace is where you are. I wanna be where you are. Thank you, guys.
That was beautiful. When I
Thank you. Thank you.
Seems like more water is coming out my eyes.
Yes, amen, amen.
That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful. Amen, amen, amen. If
Yes,
you all
ma'am.
felt that song in your spirit, put a thumbs up in the chat
Thumbs
because
up,
I
thumbs
totally
up.
felt that, Queen. I want to thank you again for coming on this platform and
Yes, ma'am.
blessing us with your sweet spirit and soul, your beautiful
Anytime.
voice. Oh my God, that was so awesome. We have the chat is going up. You all, thank you guys
Yes.
for tuning in. Let her know that she did a beautiful
Thank
job.
you guys.
Oh
Thank
my
you so
gosh,
much.
you just really touched my soul. We might need you every time because it was so
Call me.
beautiful.
I'll do it. I'll be ready every time.
Yeah, so could you please let the people know where they can follow you at, where to reach out to you?
Yes. So you can follow me on Facebook at TT5 Nisha. That's TETEFYED NISHA. I'm also on Instagram under TT5 as well. That's the name of my business. So I go by TT5 Styles. I'm in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I do
Hey,
all
St.
the locks and
Cloud.
natural hair. So we're doing our thing out here by Lake George. So yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to send a shout out all the way to you in St. Cloud, Minnesota, y'all. Y'all
Yes.
give
Woo!
it up and shout Minnesota out, St. Cloud. We coming all the way down
Yes.
there and showing you some
Yes.
love, girl, on the day.
Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. We appreciate you. We'll see you
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
back office, Queen.
Okay.
You guys, oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Her voice was so beautiful. I see y'all dropping it down in the chat. She did a phenomenal job, you guys. She did a phenomenal job, and we will be bringing her back here. You all will be seeing her on the platform again. So you all please give it up, and thank Tatanisha for coming on the platform and blessing us with her beautiful voice. And not only her beautiful voice, but that beautiful song, you guys. I don't know if you all needed to hear that, but I definitely need to hear that for his glory. We worship him on today. So again, happy Thursday. I hope all is well on this wonderful Thursday. So we have a great interview for you guys on this Thursday. We have a great interview for you guys on this Thursday. So if you are ready for me to introduce our guest speaker on tonight, y'all give us a thumbs up in the chat. Y'all give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up, you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker of the evening. Her name is, would you all please give it up and welcome Sarah Drake to the platform. Sarah Drake is an award-winning collegeist, an author, an illustrator, and she is a teaching artist in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota. Would you all please give it up and welcome my girl Sarah Drake to the platform?
Hi.
Hello, hey, how you doing, Queen?
Good. And I was like, oh, I'm never gonna hear her sing again, but I literally live across the river from her. So I'm like so excited to hear that she's from St. Cloud. So
yes, she did a phenomenal
beautiful
job.
Yes,
Beautiful. Did you feel it over there?
What's that?
Did you feel it over there?
I did. That's why I was just like, oh, who is this woman? And then I'm like,
yeah,
literally, I'm like looking across the river right now. I'm like, she's right there.
Yeah, she did a phenomenal job. She really did.
Yes,
she really did a phenomenal job. So we got all hyped up over her her. But I just want to say thank you for coming on and blessing us on Queens Who Empower Queens with your presence on today, Queen. I hope your Thursday is going fine. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell the people who you are and where you are from.
So my name's Sarah Drake. I am in Sauk Rapids,
Sarah was in the
Minnesota.
building.
What I know makes it just extra special. Those Sarahs, which Sarah means princess,
Yes.
So it's serendipitous that we're doing this. So yeah, I'm born and raised and lived my whole life in central Minnesota here, and I'm an artist and a humanitarian and a mom. And I love the idea of this show and talking about queens who empower queens, and just women and girls supporting each other, and that whole idea, like, that's really what I'm about. I didn't start that way because our society teaches us to kind of fight and compete with each other, but as an adult, it's just so important that us women are supporting each other. So I'm just very excited to be here and support the work that you're doing.
Yes, and I am glad. Well, because it's not just me, we are glad to have you on this platform. You all give a shout out and let our girl Sarah know that you all appreciate her on today. And again, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and subscribe to our channel on today. With that being said, Sarah, I know that you are very artistic. I have seen some of your work, and it is beautiful. So we definitely have some talented people that's on our platform today. So we will get to that at a later time, because I definitely want to see some of your work.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about your childhood? And the reason why I asked that, sometimes we as people, as we get older, we sometimes forget where we come from.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of something. Well, I didn't think of something. It came to me today, like where I come from. It's a big part of me. And sometimes we seem to forget where we come from. So, some people, and I have been around people that forget where they come from. Can you let us know where you come from? Let us know about your childhood, your background.
Yeah, so I grew up in what I call the middle of nowhere. The closest town was 10 miles away, and they, not as be like villages, like they didn't even have stoplights. Okay.
Wow.
So, very rural area, and we lived a block from this tiny little country church. It used to be like the old, like one room school house kind of size. Just this little church in the middle of nowhere that's kind of where I got my kindness and compassion and all the volunteering I do, just being in that tiny little space with people, learning how to care about others, and just grew this passion for service and volunteering, growing up in that way. Looking back, I was always like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here, because, like I said, there wasn't even a stoplight till I graduated. It was so tiny. The artist in me, there wasn't, art museums and galleries and all of that kind of thing. So, but there was definitely a lot of love and a lot of service that helped develop me.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad that you had love and service. People that was around to even give you that love and services. Because we have a lot of people out here in the world today. That's one of the things that we are dealing with. Love. A lot of people forgot how to love, forgot how to respect one another.
Yeah.
What would you say for those young girls, or even women, because we still have women out here searching for love, searching to be loved? What would you say to those women?
I mean, it starts with ourselves, right? And like, if we need to love ourselves and have compassion with ourselves, and give ourselves grace, I think some of those things are forgotten. Like, we'll give that to other people, but not ourselves. And if we're not loving ourselves first, we can't truly, I don't think, give to others, and we don't receive well either. And or we're looking for it, the cliche in all the wrong places, and that kind of thing. But it really does start with ourselves, and being okay with who we are and what we want and what we need, and being able to voice that and have people to share that with, and put ourselves in spaces where it's safe to be ourselves, and we can learn how to love ourselves and others. And I think when it comes to loving others, looking at what do we want and need, and like meeting people where they're at. That's something that I talk about a lot, is like meeting people where they're at. If they haven't been loved, they're not going to necessarily, love us the way that we want, right?
Absolutely.
Show with that, when I mentioned that grace and that compassion, being able to show that to people, I think brings that love along.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you, Queen. With that, I know well, I'm just going to go ahead and get into the third question because I'm sure you'll be able to answer my question for me. When we talk about purpose, what is your purpose and how do you serve in your purpose in your community?
So like I mentioned, I've always been of service and I've always been a creative, but I didn't really either find my purpose and passion or accept it maybe until I went to Burkina Faso, which is in West Africa. For those that don't know, it's a tiny little country sandwiched in between Ghana and Mali. And it's about the landmass size of Colorado. So it's very tiny. And I went there as an artist, inspired by that, by the art. And I knew the village that I was going to, that they still didn't have running water, they didn't have electricity. And so, when you hear the stereotypes of Africa, that people live in huts and they don't have electricity, that was the case for this village. And people that knew me were like, what are you thinking? You don't know the language, you don't know anybody there. And like, my idea of camping was a hotel with a pool. Like, if I don't have all these, gadgets and things with me, I'm just not happy. So how is this going to work? And in going there and making art with them, in just living daily life with them, seeing how grateful they were for what they had. Like, here we're so selfish and individualistic and take things for granted. And, they were, when folks talk about living on $1 a day, like that's what they were living. Some of them maybe even had less than that. And wow. So being around that and seeing, that's really where, when we were talking about loving people and like, that's just where, think of like the Grinch when they talk about how his heart just grew so big. Like, I already had a big heart, but like it just like went like that when I was there, just because of how amazing the people were and the things that we were able to talk about. And so just in doing that, and then I got sick. And because I was an American, they took me to the best care in the country. And so 25,000 children under the age of 5 died every year from the illness I got. But because I was American, I survived. And so take this compassionate heart plus white privilege, and my drive to help do something was, just amplified. And so in trying to, work with the women and the girls to be like, I'm just a poor, starving artist, single mom. Like, I don't have money, but I have skills and I have access to resources. I'm good at networking. Like, what might you want or need? And that's when we talked about them wanting education and entrepreneurship. And I was like, well, do you have the things that you need to make that successful? And they said no. And so when we looked at the hierarchy of needs, we need air and water. And they were spending hours a day hauling dirty water. And so that's then when I used to describe myself as painfully shy. But in doing that, it's like, okay, now I'm going to be vulnerable and put my artwork out there for people to purchase so we can help fundraise to do this. And nobody else wanted to do the work in that part of the country. And so at first it felt like my purpose was being forced on me of like, nobody's doing this work. I said I would help, so now I have to do it. But as I was going through all of it and meeting people and learning about myself and the world, like it really did become apparent, like, okay, doing this is my purpose and it's my passion. And so when the two can come together, then that's really powerful, I think. But that's kind of what has started me on this journey that I'm on.
I love it. And I love your story so far. I love that going to West Africa inspired you to do what you are doing today. So how long were you over there in West Africa?
So my first trip.
So you go often?
Yeah, my first trip was 5 weeks ish. And then I've made 7 trips, and anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks at a time, because I had my daughter and a single mom. She has now graduated and gone off to college, but that was during, thank you. That was during COVID. And so COVID, and then there's been some political unrest. So I haven't been there in the last couple of years. But yeah, I've been there 7 times, and 4 of the times I've been in the hospital and 2 of the times I've gone to the clinic. So it's still definitely, some people are like, that means you're done with this, right? Like, you keep ending up in the hospital, like you're done. And I was like, no, I'm not. And like, until I can go and not get sick, the work's not done. Until
I love it.
The local people have access to the kind of care that I have, my work's not done. And so, yeah.
So would you say that you have made an impact in West Africa so far?
I think so. And I haven't done it alone, but it's been a big struggle. But what we've been able to do so far is build 1 well and 8 latrines that served 2,000 people. And then we fixed 6 wells and 6 latrines as well for that group of people. And then we've partnered with an organization, and we just built a solar well that serves 15,000 people.
Oh, I love it.
There's 17,000 people now that from my first trip now have access to water. And so that's a pretty amazing thing. And then we also sponsor 30 girls where we pay for their school fees, their school supplies, and then anything that's a barrier to their success. So we provide a mosquito net to help reduce malaria, solar lanterns to help with studying, medicine if they get sick, as they get older, sanitary pads, because so many girls, once they start their period, then they're not going to school. And so just anything that would be a barrier, we want to be able to help eliminate that. And then we've been able to help a couple of folks with some of their startup costs to their entrepreneurship opportunities that they were trying to build. So that's what we've done so far.
That is what you all are doing is very great. What you just stated, we need more people out here doing the work. And it's sad to say that we have people that have the funds to go and give back and change the world and be the change that we would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, I'm not sure how much funds you got, but
it's all volunteer.
Yes,
I've been doing this for 12 years and I don't get paid for it. Like if I get a grant to do the art programming that I do in Minnesota, I get paid for that. But any of the work in Burkina Faso, I'm not paid for. So yeah, it's all of service. And
yes, it is a beautiful thing what you guys are doing, and I commend you guys for that. Like, I really love what you guys are doing. I'm in the mode. How can I help you guys out? How can I join forces with you guys? Because I love what you guys are doing. I always see those commercials on television, but me being who I am, I'm not an individual where I allow the TV to program me. So you cannot believe everything you see on the TV nowadays. So me speaking with someone that actually have experienced it and seen it with their own two eyes, how can not just me, because I know we have other queens in this group that would love to contribute in any way, because we love to give back. We love to volunteer our services. So how can we join forces with you guys to give back and have an impact on their lives?
Thank you for asking that. So there's always the give money, right? But not everybody has money. Like, if you've got money to give, I'm happy to take it. And so that's always nice, right? But not everybody has that. And so things like this, where I can reach new people, like, that's helpful. Something that's been really difficult to get people to understand is, like, social media is free, and it takes you literally less than a second to click share and make it so other people know things. And so just that, making a like, sharing a comment, anything to help keep things going on social media so other people see it, that's helpful. If there's people that have skills that they want to share, maybe they're good at developing content and videos and they want to be able to do that for us. If they're good at fundraising, if they want to throw a fundraiser. Behind me here, these are 3 books that I've written and illustrated about Burkina Faso and the work there. So, people could invite me to come sell my books somewhere or do a book club kind of thing. It could be, hire me to do art lessons or an art residency. I love to travel. I love to, do those kinds of things with people. So we have lots of ways that are free for people to be able to help us. One of the things that we can't do right now, but that has been on our radar to do at some point when it's okay to do, would be a trip to Burkina Faso, because I always go by myself. Okay. And so, this idea of bringing people along that want to help do work. So maybe it would be a doctor that wants to give, free exams to the kids, or somebody that wants to teach something, or somebody that wants to help build, maybe it's a well or update the school, those kinds of things. So that kind of thing we're not able to do right now, but that's a future goal that we would have, is that being of service there. And in Minnesota, locally, doing, again, the artist reading, author readings, and arts programming are ways that we can be of service here locally.
I absolutely love it. You all heard it best from Miss Sarah here. Would you all please drop it down in the chat? Let her know that you all are loving the services and the impact that she is having over there in West Africa, you guys. Because, as people, even seeing it on the TV, I hate to see it. Mm-hmm. I hate to see it, and I always wanted to be able to give back and have an impact and go over there and do. I actually want to go over there and stay for a while, because sometimes we have to, go step out of our comfort zone to go understand what is going on. So, and I guarantee you, I will come back grateful and thankful.
As a white person going, like, I know how much it impacted and changed my life. And I do have a biracial daughter. I was as educated as I could be on, things and customs and history and all of that. And I know how it impacted me, totally changed my life. And so for a person of color to go there, like I can't even imagine how it would totally, transform your life and have such an impact. Like it'll just be so beautiful. And so I can't wait
believe
for the day that you can do that, because yeah, it was just, as you can tell, it's still something like 12 years later. And I'm an author, I'm an artist. Like I've shared these stories so many times, and I still get a little bit tongue tied about it, because it was just so magical and unique and transformative and all of those things. So I highly recommend going.
It's highly, and I mean, it's highly recommended on my list too.
Yeah.
So with the books that you wrote about West Africa, did you mainly put your experience in there, or are you talking about someone that you met over there?
So what I found is when I came back, like most people wouldn't donate to what I was trying to do. But if I could get a conversation with them, even 5 minutes, to explain my experience and why I was doing what I was doing, then people were like, oh, okay, I get it. I can support that. And so I was like, how can I reach more people? Because I can't have conversations with everybody. Absolutely. And so that's where the book ideas came. And it is based on my experience. It's also kind of taking the stories from the women and the girls and putting it into just a couple of characters. And so it's based heavily on, they could maybe even be considered nonfiction, but it was done in a way, asking them, again, because it's not my culture, it's not my history. I asked permission first of like, hey, I'm trying to raise money to do the programs. Is it okay if I share these things? Is there anything I can't? To make sure that, I was representing them, that I had their permission to do that. And then we use the sales from the books to help fund the education program. So when you read here and learn about Burkina Faso, then you help sponsor a girl go to school there. And I go to New York and DC and other places where there's large Burkinabe communities. And you have the kids that are growing up here in the diaspora, and they don't know much about Burkina Faso. And then they read the book and they're like, oh, well, what's this? I didn't know that. And then I have the adults who, when they look at it, they're like, I feel like I'm at home. And so I've been entrusted with this, and I've been able to share these stories. And yeah, it's just been a huge gift and an honor to be able to do that. And it's been a pretty special thing. So yeah, based on my experience and taking other people just into a couple of the characters.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Queens Who Empower Queens definitely is going to be joining forces with you. We have someone's watching. Well, Tawana Smith says, do you have any other projects going on?
So here in Minnesota, I work predominantly with students of color, low income, various abilities, and I include them in like the public art opportunities that I get. So I do mentorships, so they learn what the arts are like. So when one of them's like, are we really getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning in the summer to go to the hardware store? Yep, because I'm not a morning person and I have to be up. And so if you're going to paint in the summer and get it done before the heat of the day, yep, you're getting up with me. But it's just been, to me, really important for the community at large to see artists of color and of various abilities and things, to see them, because the arts has been historically dominated by white men, right? And so having the community see other artists and for those artists to see themselves represented in art and to be in the art scene has been really, really powerful. And something with this work to kind of get to what Tawana's saying, and there's more than 7, but there's 7 of us women in Minnesota that do nonprofit work, and we all are just kind of like solo doing it, right? And most of us are doing it volunteer. And so being women doing this work is really difficult. And we kind of came together to vent and, just kind of like, right? And in doing that, found strength and solidarity. And we're like, well, how can we help each other? And then it came into like, well, what if we really work together on something? Like, what would that collective impact be? And so
I know it would be definitely a bigger impact.
Yes. And so we looked at, so we're all doing different things and in different countries, but literacy was the common thread through all of us, is people having access to education and being able to read. And that's just such a basic human right. And many people in the States take it for granted. They're like, oh, I have to go to school. Where like Burkina Faso, for example, 41% of women, so that's ages 15 and older, only 41% of them are literate. And so that's why, education was such a big thing. And so with this literacy piece, we have an open house on October 13th, and it's multiple things. It's a fundraiser, of course, but it's also awareness for people to learn those kinds of things. Like, why is it important and how can they, support our work? I was just out at the side events for the UN General Assembly, and, it's really there's a lot of gatekeeping. And it was just, again, a reminder of like why we've come together to help each other. And
well, I would say why we need to come together to help each other. Because I was just thinking about that today, and I'm based out in Atlanta and I have a nonprofit. So just me trying to build a team here. But I want Queens to Empower Queens to be worldwide. And Queens to Empower Queens is for, women like you. We have to come together. 2 is better than 1. 3 is better than 2. We have to come together. When we come together and unify, they don't, like, you all do not understand how much power we will have as women. But we have to come together.
Yeah. And so it's been interesting, right? Because we all have different backgrounds and things that we're good at, things that we struggle with. And so being able to play on each other's strengths and learn to be like, okay, I can't do that. And it's okay to ask for help. That's been a thing. Like sometimes we're like, oh, I can help you with that. And someone's like, I don't know how to ask for help. Well, 1, let's work on that together. But 2, I offered to help. Right. And so just some of those retraining ourselves, the things that we've been taught from society that women are expected to be and can and can't be and should be and all of that. And so kind of doing that together, it's very empowering. And so like we're doing exactly what this is, Queens who empower queens. Like that's, we didn't go into it with that intention, but that's what happened.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that is real big here at Queens who Empower Queens. And like I tell everyone, we might not have, a full force, but I know that it's coming. But, Queens who Empower Queens is not for everyone.
Right.
But when they are ready to come over here onto this ship we will be ready, open arms, welcome, because we are here to do the job to give back into our community. We want to see our communities change, the violence, with West Africa, education, they need shelter, water, and things like that. Yes, we should be able to provide those things to them to help them out just as well. And I'm sure if the foot was on if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm sure they would do the same thing for us.
Yeah.
So sometimes we got to take a step back and not look at ourselves, but look at the bigger picture. And that's why I tell everybody it's bigger than us.
Yep. And sometimes I feel not guilty, but like this, like it's not truly selfless, because I feel so like I'm filled so much by doing this.
Yes.
That like, then it's not truly like I didn't get into it to get anything out of it, right?
Absolutely.
Like I didn't expect to make money. I didn't expect gratitude. I didn't expect any of that. But like it's so rewarding, and I like fulfills me so much that like I can't honestly say that it's selfless, because it's not. Like it like totally fills me.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing. Like Queens from Power Queens just started last year. So the events that we have had within last year, even doing the podcast, having special guests come on a podcast, spreading love, spreading knowledge, to other queens, because we have a lot of them that do not know. And from the looks of it, even watching TV, we see women going against each other. That's what they plan that because they want us all to be against each other. They want to program all of us. But just having women like you, and it is other women like us out here too that want to give back and help into our communities, want to be the change and see the change that we would like to see. We just need to come together as people. And I wouldn't say as people, because we're not people, as queens, as I will say. We just need to come together as queens and really give back to our nation. Educate. We have to empower, inspire, and educate each and last one of us, because I don't know everything. You might not know everything, but I might know something that you don't know. You might know something that I don't know. So we have to come together and drop them gems on each other. And that's what we all about here at Queens on Power Queens. There's no queen left behind. If I win, you win. You win, I win. And just having that, just going out here and doing the work, walking in our purpose. It's not about money, because number one, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of backlash, about this, but money is fake. We can't take it with us when we leave this earth.
Right.
We can't take it with us. So just being able to have an impact on someone else's life and seeing those smiles, it's the joy that you will have on your heart, and knowing that you have did a good deed, you have gave back, you have impacted and been an inspiration to somebody else, because they're going to go back and tell their story to somebody else and let somebody else know how you have impacted their life. And that's all I look for. I don't look for anything else. It's the impact and the knowledge and the love that I can spread to another queen, so she can go out there and do exactly what I have, given her. She can go give it to somebody else. I have poured in her cup, so now she can go pour into somebody else's cup.
Yep. Exactly.
So that is a beautiful thing that you are doing. So I definitely would like to be included in this project, because I want to go over in West Africa and pour into those women, so they can go pour into other women, and we can do this nationwide, worldwide, and we can change lives, and we can change the way we see the world.
Yep. That's why, as you were talking about what you're doing there, I was like, ooh, I can come to Georgia and one of your events. And like, I love community art, and so like just making something together, and that the conversations and people getting to know each other and sharing stories during the art making process, where it's not about the end result. Like, who cares what the painting looks like when we're done, right? Like that's not the point.
Absolutely. It's not even about the painting.
Exactly.
And then if you look at the painting hard enough, you might just start to like it, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, and that's what it's about. It's about networking, collaborating, coming together, joining forces to do the work that our Father will want us to do.
Yeah.
Yes. And see, you have covered a lot, because on Queens Who Empower Queens, one thing that we do bring awareness, to other queens, letting them know that she too has been through it, you too have been through it. And I know you stated at the beginning of our interview that you were a single mom.
Yeah, like this hasn't been easy by any means.
And we definitely know that it is not easy. Can you share something with single moms? Can you give them like a daily affirmations to live by as they go through that transition of not having, another person there, because they will call that family, but just to be a single mom, like how did you get through that?
For me, so as I mentioned, she's biracial. Her dad's family wasn't involved in her life. And so for me, I was working on anything I could for her not to be a statistic. Absolutely. And add that she's half African. And so I just, not necessarily a good thing, but what was mine is like, she was my focus. And like, how do I get her involved in things? How do I find the services and the supports that she needs to be successful so that she could graduate? Like, people of color not graduating, like that right there, getting her, she just turned 20 this summer and she got a big old cake. She was like, I want a big cake if I beat teen pregnancy. And so like those were two huge statistics, like, being homeless, or like me in my dating, like I didn't bring people around her because of the statistics of single moms and the men that they bring around their children. And so like statistics really drove a lot of that stuff for me, to where I just really became focused on her and what I could do to help create a better world for her. And that's kind of where my artwork and even the work in Burkina Faso, like everything's been about like social justice, social responsibility. Like how can I use my art and my voice and my stories to help make the world a better place for her? And
so did your artwork have an impact on her?
Yeah, at first no, but then yes. And it was important to like not be like, hey, will you do this with me? Just like, sharing out materials and things like that. But yeah, being I know some people have looked and been like, wow, I can't do what you did because I was a single mom. I went and got my bachelor's degree. That was one of the things, like childcare. If you were on, at that time, public assistance, if you wanted childcare and to go to school, you couldn't. And so I had to figure out how to, because if I didn't have a degree, me getting a job to pay to do things for her, that wouldn't work either. So going and get my bachelor's and my master's degree, like I got my master's degree because I literally could not afford to work. The cost of childcare with what the wages were. And I had a professor who was like, oh, I'll hire you as a GA and your school will be paid for. You'll have childcare. So like I literally got more education because I couldn't afford to work. And so those experiences is what really opened my eyes to, education and entrepreneurship and the things of, juggling, oh, I need to leave work and then add, my own health issues and things like that. Like, it's really difficult, but this stuff is kind of what I would call my therapy or my medicine, like what helps keep me going, where some people would be like, you need to take something off your plate, and that's not paid. You get sick when you go do it. Like, take it out. But because it is part of my purpose, like that's my medicine, that's my therapy, that's my church, that's my whatever you want to call it. And so if you take it away, then those other things get worse, not better. It's not just about having time, right? It's about finding those things that help fuel you. Because when you are a single mom and you're not able to do the things, you don't have money for the things, I can be on my phone or my computer while the kid's awake or once they've gone to sleep, and send out messages or create content for people to look at and then be able to donate. And so just finding whatever helps fill you, and that looks different for everybody. And it's okay to take breaks and not be doing. I'm only just learning this once my child is out of the house and in college, that, whether it's single moms or not, just any queen, like, it's really important for us to learn how to listen to our bodies and our spirits and do what we need. And so like this week, I haven't gotten much done on my to-do list because I've just been, you can hear it in my voice, my allergies, like I have snot brain, like I can't. And so instead of fighting it, I'm learning to, like, you know what, just rest. And that's just okay. The world's not going to end.
Not going nowhere.
And later I'll be able to do even more because I'll be, and as a single mom, like I couldn't do that. There was no time to take that kind of rest. But on the way home, I would stop and park at the river for 5 minutes, whatever, if I was, ahead of traffic before I had to go to daycare, and just take those couple minutes to myself and, breathe and relax, like whatever you can find to do to help get through it all. So,
well, I am glad that you were able to get through. So, kudos to you and baby girl that went on off to college. So you have done an awesome, outstanding job.
Thank you.
And I know it does not go unnoticed at all. So for all the single moms out there, you heard it best from Sarah Drake herself, you guys. Don't let that get you guys down. Everything is going to be okay. Take it one day at a time, one step at a time, whatever floats your boat and help you. Take it one day at a time, you guys.
And usually those challenges end up being the best pivot points in life.
Help you with a lot of strength, don't it?
It does. And then it's like the next challenge comes and it's like, I got this.
Yes.
So it does get better and easier. So
yes. So we have our last question for you on the platform today. But before I ask you this last question, I would like for you to show us some of your artwork.
Let's see. This is kind of backwards.
I know those earrings are beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So that's me painting my logo.
They are very beautiful.
Back here, this is a mixed media piece. So it's painting.
So everything on this wall behind you is your artwork.
So this one right here is my daughter's. She made that after George Floyd's murder.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Black Lives Matter, that is done by other artists. But yeah, the other art around is mine.
Very, very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
You are very creative, and I am loving what you're doing. You keep doing what you're doing, and we will be joining forces with you. We will be tagging along. We definitely going to keep in touch. We're definitely going to keep in touch. So with that being said, our last question that I have for you on our platform this evening is from one queen to another with the knowledge that you have now. What advice would you leave on this platform for another queen to protect her throne?
Communication. And so in saying that, making sure you get information directly from the source, not getting caught up in gossip and other things, or when you hear things or you feel or think things, just go talk to somebody. So many issues that we have can be avoided if you actually talk to somebody, because typing, social media, all that can create even more. We lose so much without that body language and other things. But honest, open communication, I just think is so important with everything in life. And so it helps build and strengthen things, because you find that you actually have more in common with people than you think.
Absolutely.
It avoids a lot of issues that could have been avoided if there was just, clarification on something. So yeah, I think communication is probably the most important thing that I can say to be mindful of.
I love it. I think communication will help and save a lot in the relationships, period. Friendships, relationships with, mama and daughter relationships, because we have a lot of mother and daughter failed relationships. We have a lot of girlfriend relationships that may have failed, and I believe communication have a big impact on restoring those relationships. So
yes,
you definitely said it best, and you hit it on the head. I would like to thank you again for coming on to Queens Who Empower Queens. We definitely appreciate you here at Queens Who Empower Queens. I definitely look forward to working with you in the future, and now and in the future. I love what you are doing. Keep doing what you are doing.
Thank you.
And definitely I feel a collaboration coming on.
I do too. And so it's really easy to be in connection with us. Everything is Her Arts in Action.
So that's Facebook, Instagram. Please let them know where they can come. They can reach out to you and they can follow you.
Yep. Everything is Her Arts in Action, and the website's herartsinaction.org. And then, that reminder of October 13th, if people can donate money, if they want to come, if they want to share.
And where is this event? Will it be held in Minnesota?
It's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes.
Okay. So you definitely will have to share that information inside of our group.
I will do that.
It's October the 13th. Please share that information inside of our group. I know we have other queens that's in Minnesota or in the surrounding areas that I'm sure they would like to come out and be a part of this wonderful event and change the lives of others.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Keep doing this. This is wonderful.
Yes. And I wanted to thank you again for coming on to this platform and blessing us with your presence on today. Your beautiful artwork. I cannot wait to connect with you more besides this interview. But you all drop it down in the chat. Let Miss Sarah Drake know that you all appreciate her for stopping by and dropping gems with us today. Also, again, subscribe to the YouTube channel and invite other queens here to Queens Who Empower Queens. Is that all that you have to say, Miss Sarah, on this platform tonight?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciate you. Not just me, but we appreciate you here at Queens Who Empower Queens. And thank you so much. I'm going to put you in the back office and I'm going to close the phone up. Well, there you have it, people. I would like to thank you guys for joining us here on this wonderful Thursday evening on Queens Flowing Power Queens. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. I hope you shared this live video. I hope you like. I hope you comment on this live video. Let other queens know that we are live and we are bringing awareness, letting you guys know and other queens know that she too has been through it. You too can and will get through it, you guys. The pain is just temporary. It does not last long. Obstacles, trials, and tribulations are just temporary. They don't last long. Reach out to someone, talk to someone, communicate with someone. Be a part of a foundation that is willing to have an impact on someone else's life as well as the community. Elevate not only within that community, but within you too as well. And just being able to give back and have an impact on each other as a community. So with that being said, you all already know I am your girl Sarah. Again, would you all please give it up and thank Sarah Drake for coming to the platform and blessing us on today. And y'all, subscribe to the channel, you guys. Like, comment, share, let other queens know what we are doing on Queens Flowing Power Queens, how we are bringing awareness within our community, and how we would like to be the change that we would like to see here at Queens Flowing Power Queens. So you all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys on the next video. We are out.